Hello, welcome to another edition of The Naked Truth. My name is John Singletary.
And my name is Ramon Roan.
And we want to thank you for subscribing to the channel. Please continue to subscribe to it for us, as well as to get on and share it with other people. Go to www.jfrinc.org and join us as a member as we continually bring you information. Today we're going to talk about felons voting in South Carolina, simply because in talking with people in the street, we get a misconception by most that once you become a felon in South Carolina, that you can't vote. And that is not the law in South Carolina. In South Carolina, as a felon, you can vote. As long as you have taken care of your probation, that you're not presently incarcerated,
Not on parole.
and you're not on parole,
Right.
then you can reactivate your voter's registration.
Right.
There's a pamphlet that's out on voter registration. You can go to any of the voter registration offices and get it. This one happens to be about voter registration. This one is about voting in South Carolina. This is the application. And this year, you need to stay clear in your mind that there's going to be a voter ID required. One of 5. It has to be the driver's license, a military ID, passport, a voter's registration ID that they give you free. Of charge. There's no charge for that. Free. Or it has to be a state ID that's been issued. Those are one of 5 you have to bring. If you do not have that when you go to vote, they can't prevent you from voting. But within 4 to 5 days after the election, then you have to then submit your ID so that they will be able to then count your vote. So let's not take that chance. Let's get the ID and have it available when you go to vote.
Make sure that, especially if you're a felon, make sure that you understand that you can get your voting right can be restored after your incarceration plus your parole and probation had period of run out. We still need to change those laws too. That's in South Carolina, but we still need to deal with after your term of incarceration, we need to remove the probation and the parole. Once it's been done, you should be it shouldn't be once you finish your time, you did your incarceration time, your voter rights should be restored. 20 states right now, 11 states you lose your right to vote permanently. 20 states your voter right is restored after your term of incarceration plus parole and probation. That's 20 states. 4 states your voting has been restored after term of incarceration and probation. And voters' right has been restored for 13 states in D.C. after term of incarceration, and in 2 states, unrestricted. That means you can vote even incarcerated through absentee ballot.
Okay.
And what are those states? I'm just curious on that. That's Maine and Vermont.
Okay.
2 little states.
So there's the naked truth concerning voting. Just because you have been incarcerated, that does not permanently remove your right to get out and vote. And it is extremely important.
And very important.
To get out there and vote. A lot of people sacrificed a lot for us to be able to vote. Because that was one of the ways that we were able to become a part of what is considered America and to have our voice heard. And so it's important because you can change things with a vote. You need to make sure that you stay abreast of the trends in terms of population shifts in cities, because 10 years ago, a city might have been only 30% African American. It may be 70% now. And as a result, it totally changes the opportunity that you have to then not only be a part of the process, but to control the process and do something that's fair in your favor.
Right.
Whereas previously you might have been restricted. And so that's why it's important to get out and vote. No time like the present to go to get registered and get involved with a political movement. If you're in North Charleston, the Concerned Citizens of North Charleston, we've got one that's going on, and we intend on having someone elected who will be fair to our people in North Charleston. All people in North Charleston. That's whether you're white, black, Hispanic, it really wouldn't matter. We want fairness. And right now, there's a lot of nepotism, there's a lot of, if you are a part of the mayor's clique, if you are in his entourage, then, hey, you get preferential treatment.
Right.
And that's nowhere near the way the system ought to run.
Right. And as I close out on this, I think that it's very important for you to understand your voting right, and because of the fact that a large population of the prison population is black, and those young black boys are black men they're basically ostracized. They're basically as Sister Michelle Alexander said, that they're it's a caste system now, or say Jim Crow, new Jim Crow, to where you're now taken out of the system of being able to vote. And here's another thing, as my last part on this, is that very important because of the local elections. I don't want to call him a racist, but it's said that Ronald Reagan was a racist. Maybe so, I don't know. It's a possibility. But nonetheless, he said the government that governs the closest governs the best. Those local governments, they're the ones that we really need to be focusing on. We're thinking about, we put in Barack Obama as president, but who is the mayor? Because Barack Obama doesn't run the city of North Charleston, doesn't run the city of Ferguson, Missouri. The mayor does. And we sit back and we allow anyone who decides they want to run for mayor to put them in office, and meanwhile, and here's what they're doing to you. And so I encourage you, please watch our other videos about the Concerned Citizens of North Charleston, as well as the Naked Truth and Red's Courtroom Public Opinion. Please subscribe to this channel as we continue to focus on our justice system and the problem dealing with the conditions of the black community.
Yep. We know that across the country, roughly 12% of the people vote. Here in North Charleston, that would be roughly, out of 100,000 people, around 12,000. The most the mayor has ever had here has been 6,500 votes. So 12% would be 6,000. So 12% would be 12,000. Half of that, 50%, would be 6,000. So if it was a dead heat and he got 6,500, which is the most he's ever received, then that means that it holds true to the national average, that 12% vote, and whoever can get 6.5% runs the city.
Right.
6.5% run the city for everybody else. So that's why it's important to get out and to vote, is because you don't want 6.5% of the people running and determining everything for 100% of the people.
Right.
So get involved.
Get involved.
This has been another edition of The Naked